We're good. We're live. All right, everyone. Round table here in the Gumdolph Kingdom. My name is Wild Paparazzi, joined always by our gracious host, Gumdolph the Great. What is up, Vinny?
Not much. How are you?
Vinny, I'm doing wonderful right now. Doing great. How do I go back to the back of the line? I'm trying to do my intro right now. Doing wonderful, doing great because we're back with another edition of the Community Round Table. It's going to be wonderful tonight. For those of you who are just joining us or have never watched the Community Round Table before, this is a podcast-esque style show where we get members of the fighting game community together to talk about things fighting game related. And it's always a good time. We've done quite a few of these. I believe Vinny told me we did 21 of them so far here. And the last few of them have been traveling back to the past, getting some story times from some of the old members of the fighting game community, the guys that have been around for quite a while. And I know I certainly have found them entertaining here. And we have two guests on with us tonight that I'm excited to introduce. But before I do so, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors here, Junk Food Custom Arcades. For those of you who have not checked them out yet, be sure to do so. Junk Food Custom Arcades has all sorts of fighting game related peripherals, things like that, snack boxes, arcade sticks, hit boxes, things of that nature. If you guys had a chance to check out Junk Food Custom Arcades or any of the social medias of the Gumdolph Kingdom and Syracuse Sucker Punch, you would have seen that during our Christmas party, they also sent us 2 custom snack boxes, which looked freaking sick. So be sure to check out Junk Food Custom Arcades. Of course, we have to thank and recognize the godfather of the FGC, DJ Silence, a.k.a. Kenyon, and Syracuse Sucker Punch. And then finally, Microgame Play and Trade, who have given us a home to come play said games for our monthly. So, Vinny, there's the intro. We've thanked our sponsors here. I say we get to it. We introduce our guests tonight.
Yes.
You good with that?
Yes, let's get into it.
Excellent. So we have 2 very special guests.
I've been waiting for this moment since, like, the beginning of these, because we were started with interviews, and now still doing interviews, but stories behind the community and everything that's happened have been so wild and interesting. We had to bring these 2 on. So first, we'll introduce Tony. Tony, what's up, my friend?
Hey, what's up, Vinny? What's up, Rick?
What's up?
So, fun story. This is a first for this, too. Tony is currently working while talking to us, so he kind of disappears for a few seconds. That's what happened.
He's
yeah,
a multitasker.
I'm delivery driving. I'm simultaneously delivering Chinese food.
Through this shitty, lovely weather that we have tonight.
Yeah, you gotta make
in
money
a
somehow.
car that is ridiculous.
A rental. And bad.
And then
Fair enough.
our second guest tonight, Damas. Damas, what's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. So
Excellent.
happy you're here. So happy you guys are both here.
Yes,
can't wait.
I think a perfect pairing here, because we've heard from folks like Lou and D'Angelo and Dave and Jeremy, and we've been waiting to get you 2 on here tonight because I know you guys have a lot of great stories, a lot of great history here in the Syracuse FGC here. Damas, I know you're not in the FGC in Syracuse anymore, but you're still partaking, still participating, keeping the community alive all the way down from Texas, and we appreciate that. So very excited to have you both on tonight. And we'll get to the stories here, but first, just a little bit of background from you guys. I just want to ask, and Damas, we'll start with you. What was your first introduction to the fighting game community? How did you get in? And just share a little bit of backstory. Where you came from, what you do.
And I've been doing this dance since I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And this is all the way back in New York City. This is before I moved to Syracuse. I used to play Marvel 2 at the arcades. I used to skip school. We used to skip high school and go to. We was in Queens. We used to skip school and go to Jamaica Avenue, go to the Coliseum, and play Marvel 2. And then they went and they built a cyber cafe 2 blocks from my high school. That was the worst fucking thing they ever did, was build a cyber cafe next to a high school.
Or the best thing you ever did, right?
Well,
Come on.
I mean, yes.
Depends
For
on
us,
who you
it's the
ask.
best thing. For them, it was the worst thing they ever did. So, and this cafe had Warcraft 2, StarCraft. It had a KOF machine, an MEC2 machine, a Tekken Tag 2 machine, and so that's where I would spend half of my time in high school going to these tournaments and going to these things. But then I stopped playing because I wasn't really taking it seriously. It was just more of something to do for fun. It wasn't until I moved to Syracuse and I met Tony that I started taking the games more seriously. And that was about 20 at that time.
Okay. So a couple years later, what was the game that you started taking seriously?
Tekken 5.
Tekken 5. Okay. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Tekken 5.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I used to play a very terrible Brian in Tekken 5.
Man, okay. Okay.
It was bad. I did Sneak Edge into World Horizon 4 and World Horizon 3, 4, and that was it. It was bad. That was my only combo that I had.
Yeah. Yeah, let me tell you, I have fond memories of Tekken 5 back playing in high school and whatnot on my PlayStation 2. That was probably my first go at Tekken. So, but was your first game? Was it Marvel 2? Was that like the first go at it?
Yes, Marvel 2 was the first actually taste of tournament play. Was Marvel 2. So
man, you're getting +2 Vinny points at this point.
And now at this time, this is where people were doing time-stopping glitches in the game, and at this point, because it was so new, there was no rules for it. So people just doing glitches and stopping the game and killing people's characters off of that. This was before people do snap combos.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
You know. But that was a long time ago.
And you made it. You made it this long, whatnot. That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I still play the same way. I used to play Mega Man.
Dude.
Mega.
Plus 20 points.
I played Mega Man, Galio, and Blackheart.
That's awesome.
Said Mega Man though. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Mega Man, Spidey, and
very cool. Very cool.
I didn't play Hulk. He was bad.
Yeah, he was pretty bad, but I liked him.
He was really bad. I wanted to play him.
That's awesome. Well, as I continue playing here, Tony, why don't you give us a little bit of backstory? What started you in the community? I have a fond memory of my first experience with Tony, and it wasn't even in person. But I'll share it after you share your experiences here. What got you into the fighting game community?
I'm trying to do a delivery right now. Could you guys ask Dom questions?
All right. Well, let me tell you my experience with Tony. So when I first started in Syracuse, I moved from Rochester, and I had played fighting games in high school and in college. Never really got too serious, too competitive with them. However, I was looking to find basically some friends that I could hang with and play fighting games with and whatnot. So I remember going on like shoryuken.com and looking at the forums, like what can I find that's gonna help me out here in Syracuse and whatnot. And I remember starting my own thread saying, let me see if I can find the Syracuse FGC. And Tony was one of the first people to respond and say, listen, SRK's forums are dead. You need to go to like Facebook to find these things. Search Syracuse Sucker Punch. And I was like, okay, all right, sounds good. It was ZTS. He was telling me. I said, all right, whatever. And I think D actually responded too. And it was a short while later that I actually met D and Tony in person at a Street Fighter V tournament. So that was kind of my first intro to the FGC. So
nice,
Tony. If it wasn't for you, I might not have found Syracuse. Who knows?
Yeah,
it's weird how you think about those things.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that I could be that person to help you introduce you to the community. Like, to be honest with you, like I love that. That's what we want. I've always wanted to grow the community. So like, that's awesome. That like, I don't know. I'm just feel good. I feel good that I brought you in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's awesome,
Now we're
man.
here.
Like I said, it's a fond memory of mine, and I always have like great memories of the folks in the FGC and whatnot. I've had an awesome time since my time here. And Dave's fucking kicking my ass right now. But yeah, it's always been awesome, and I've always appreciated that, and everybody's been super friendly and inviting. So, and here we are, years later, talking about FGC stuff. So let's hear your story.
The origin story. Okay, like it's not like that exciting, right? But I'll tell you, it starts with Pokemon. All right, so let me explain myself, right? So my parents had just gotten divorced, and I'm like, and I moved my mom moved us to this tiny little house, riding a different bus to school, and I'm in middle school, right? I'm in like 7th grade, right? And like I'm riding the bus, and I play Pokemon because I'm a middle school gamer nerd, right? And then I'm on the bus, and I think I hear Pokemon, and I'm like, what the fuck? Look around. Don't see anybody, but I hear that music, dun, 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 like the battle music, right? And I'm like, I don't see anybody. This happens a bunch of times until finally I get on the bus, I'm riding, and I hear the music coming right behind me. I look over the bus, and there is the legend himself, ZZY. Now, I don't know Kyle at this point, but I turned to him, I was like, you like Pokemon? And he looks at me with the straightest face possible. He says, I'm the Pokemaster. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so Kyle, he was 1 year ahead of me in school. He was in 8th grade, I was in 7th grade. But he was a bit of a delinquent. So he was like, I was like, well, we're going to battle, right? For some reason, we didn't battle on the bus. I don't understand why, in retrospect. But he was like, I'm going to come to your lunch period. And we're going to battle in Pokemon, right? So he like went to go to the bathroom, went to his locker, grabbed his Game Boy, and came and played me during my lunch period. And he lost. And then he was like, you can't use Zapdos and Mewtwo and Mew. That's cheating. And I'm like, bro, it's in the game, baby. It is what it is. And then he was like, you're a piece of shit. And I was like, you're just a sore loser. And then, so that's how we met in competition, right? Then, I promised Kyle I would get him a mod chip. Does anybody know what a mod chip is?
No, what's a mod chip?
A mod chip is something you would use with your PlayStation 1 to play burned games, right? Now, I had the hookup, so I knew where to get them, right? And then I promised Kyle I would get him a mod chip. Now, I promised him this because at this time we weren't really friends, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to tell this guy I'm going to get him one. He's in 8th grade. He's about to graduate and go to high school, and he's going to forget all about this, right? So, time passes. Summer happens, 8th grade. I'm in 8th grade. I'm just chilling. I'm walking down the hallway. I'm at my locker, and somebody shoves me into the locker.
Whoa.
I turn around, and it's fucking
bullied.
Kyle.
Fucking
and I'm
Kyle.
like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, I failed. And I'm like, what? He's like, I failed 8th grade. Where's my mod chip? And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, and he said he failed just to get the mod chip. That wasn't true. And I was like, oh my God. So from
Wait, he
there,
was trying to play on your emotions? Is that what was happening?
I don't know, bro. Like, he was just like, bully. He's like, give me my mod. You said you give me a mod chip. I
gotta get
failed.
Kyle
And I
on.
was delinquent. And I was like, all right, cool. So this leads us to like a lot of stuff. Well, like fist fights in his backyard, a whole bunch of random stuff. But it eventually leads to us going inside and being like, oh, you got Tekken? I'm the best at Tekken. Oh, yeah? I'm the best at Tekken, right? And then it just ended up having us sit down and just play Tekken Tag Tournament for like 5 hours, just scrubbing each other out. And so we were just like, he's just doing Laser Scraper over and over again with Jin. He's AOP and other stuff because his team was Jin and Link. And I played Lee and Law. And so it's just down 4-4-4 flips, all sorts of shit. And, we were pretty even, right? So, now me and Kyle are like fighting game rivals. We're like little friends. Nobody wants to play us when we play games because we're much way better than everybody, right? So we go to the arcade and we start playing Tekken at the arcade because we're like, yeah, we're gonna beat people in the arcade, and we're doing a good job. But we look over to this other game. At the time, Tekken 4 was out, and CyberStation had both Tekken 4 and Tekken Tag.
Yeah.
But there's another game, and there's all these guys crowded around it, and it's Soul Calibur 2.
I was about to ask. That game got brought up a lot.
This has come up a lot.
So I was like, damn. I was like I want to play these guys. So we went over to play, and they were quartering up. The first time I'd ever seen quartering up in my life. So I put my tokens up, I waited, and these guys were just fucking annoyed. This little fucking 14-year-old put his coins up on the fucking thing and wanted to play. And so the response was that is they just like scrubbed me out. And so then Kyle did the same thing, and they scrubbed him out. And then we were just like, yeah, well, this game sucks. And then we go back to play our fighting games, right? So Kyle's playing Tekken 4, and I'm playing Tekken Tag. Two of those guys, they both get off Soul Calibur and they're like, we're going to beat these kids in Tekken, and kick them off the Tekken machines while we're waiting for our chance to be up in Soul Calibur, right? So one guy comes to play me in Tekken Tag, and I beat him. But the other guy that goes to play Kyle in Tekken 4 beats Kyle. So then the guy who I beat in Tekken Tag went and got the guy who beat Kyle in Tekken 4, and then he came and beat me. And me and Kyle were fucking pissed. We were like, who is this ass? It's like, okay. Now we're gonna fucking beat their ass, right? And I was kind of like, okay, Kyle, we're gonna figure out a way. We're gonna get to the mall because Soul Calibur 2 was not out on consoles. It was arcade release only at this point, right? And we were like, we're gonna get to the mall, and we're gonna find it. We're gonna train when these guys are not around. We're gonna find a way, and we're gonna beat their fucking ass, right? And so, we start going to the mall. We start training. We pick the same character, right? We're training with the same character, right? So we're doubling our chances of improving, right?
Yeah.
And we go there one day, and we're practicing, and that motherfucker shows up again. It's him. It's the guy who beat us at Tekken 4 Tag. And so he hops on Soul Calibur, right? And me and Kyle got a fuck ton of tokens, and we're just like, all right, we're gonna beat this guy. But this guy just starts streaking on us. And we're playing him over and over again. We cannot beat him. He switches characters. We can't beat him. And we're like, what the hell is going on? We run out of money. And then I'm like, shit. And then he starts taking his own tokens out and giving them to us. He's like, no, keep going. So Kyle keeps playing it. And we're like, what's going on? What is this thing? I'm like, oh, it's like, is he training? No, he's not training us. What is he doing? He's just still beating the crap out of us. And then I realized that he's close to the win streak record on the machine, and he's just feeding Kyle tokens so he can get the fucking win streak record. I'm like, Kyle, stop. He's trying to get the highest win streak, and Kyle's like, no, I'm gonna beat him. And then this dude streaks all the way to the win record, and then he's like, thanks, and he just walks away from the machine. And we're like, Kyle was like, I'm gonna kill this guy. And that motherfucker was Jared Genere. Fucking Mordak. The legend. And that was the start of everything. That was the start of me and Kyle being like, we're gonna get this motherfucker. I swear to God, if it's the last thing we do. And that is the origin story. That's how I got into the FGC.
And by the way, it's been about 25 years. They still haven't gotten him. So let's
nobody got him.
Let's not forget that part.
Nobody got him.
No, Jared was he was the man. He was a legend.
Is anybody still in contact with Jared? What's he doing?
I can answer that question. He the first thing episode is he moved to China with his girlfriend.
Got married.
Got divorced. His job in China was to censor the internet. He worked for a company that they were like, hey, you're an American, you know what people like, well, you can censor the internet for us. So he worked there for a while censoring the internet.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he met a beautiful Russian woman and then married her and then moved back, and I think he lives in Connecticut and has a kid. That
Okay.
is where I think he. The last time I saw him, he was like he showed up randomly in Syracuse. Me, Dave, and Clune and him had dinner at Eva's. That's the last time I saw him. He's
Wow.
on Facebook. You can find him. But I don't
Okay.
think he plays anything anymore.
Tony, I'm not gonna lie. That story that you told about you and Kyle, like starting out as rivals, Pokemon, and then coming together to fight Jared and all that good stuff. That's a pretty great story. It might even rival freaking Dave's origin story. Dave had a pretty wild one as well. So I love hearing it. Damas, you had a great story as well about getting into the games and showing up and starting early. What age did you guys start? Because it sounds like you both started like very early, like 15, 16, getting into this community.
Yeah,
Yeah, like getting into the community about 16, but playing fighting games in general, probably like most of our lives, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
Because like Tony, he probably played a bunch of games. You played a bunch of games, but getting into the community, for me, my first taste was about 16.
Okay.
It's funny because when I met Tony, I didn't like Tony when I first met him.
nobody does.
It
He
took
still like
me.
me.
It took me a long time to like Tony. But he's my brother now, so
Yeah.
I can't really say much about it. But oh man, there was times I just wanted to punch him in his neck.
Tony at first a lot to handle, and he's quite the flavor, you know what I mean? I know, like,
Yeah, I don't.
one of the things I remember. Listen, my first tournament was at Wizards Pinball Street Fighter V tournament. All right, and it was the tournament that Rex ended up winning everything. It was great. My first impression with Tony was, man, this dude should just commentate everything because he just like brought the hype, and it was like Rex was playing Laura, and it was like Laura would go into like V-Trigger or whatever, and Tony was just like, my girl likes to party all the time, party all the time. And it was
Yeah,
like, I was
such a
like, who's
feeling.
this guy? This is so fun. Like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? And it brought the hype. So, and you certainly have had your share of commentating experience. You know what I mean? Both on a professional level and during our streams and things like that. So, that's awesome. Now, let me ask you guys this: when I think of you two, right? I think of one game. I think of Tekken, and you guys are proficient at Tekken heads, things like that, right? Now, you guys have been to a lot of tournaments. You guys have traveled, things like that. But I would love to hear, and Vinny, stop me if I'm wrong, I would love to hear your favorite Tekken memory. Whether it's traveling or a tournament you won, anything like that. And Damas, if you want to start, go ahead and start. We'll go with you, and then we'll go back to Tony and go from there.
Oh man, I got so many memories of Tekken. So the first memory I have was final round for Tekken 5, and this was kind of more towards kind of the end of Tekken 5. And so we're in Atlanta. Kyle, he was going to face the best king in Atlanta, me Red, and I was going to face the best Dragunov of like the East Coast area, Seiko, in a 1st to 10. And so we was gonna see who's gonna be the best Dragunov of the East Coast. And I was confident in myself. God, I was trying to find my own in the game finally. So I win the first game, and we videotaped this. I win the first game, and everybody's like, "Yeah, okay." Then I proceeded to lose the next 10.
Cool.
He beat me 10-1. And it was the most humbling experience I think I've ever had in Tekken, and I'll never forget it. I bring it up all the time. So when people always want to feel down about themselves when they go to tournaments or do a long set with somebody and they lose, I bring that up a lot because I'm proud of it. Because I think that made me a better player. And that weekend, I actually outplayed Seiko in tournament.
Okay.
So,
The redemption, the comeback.
yep. And my other memory, was where in T6, Major League Gaming was doing a bunch of events, so we were all traveling, of course. And I was one of the only ones who went to the finals. And the finals that had JDCR. Now this is pre JDCR, so at this point his main character was Brian and Haji. So he was a young cat at this time. So, because in T6 the main big people were Nin and Ni. Were like the big names. JDCR, he was just coming to his own.
Don't forget about Whole Man.
And Whole Man, of course. So we were doing a team tournament. I ended up being Dimeback in tournament and JDCR in tournament. And to this day, when people ask, I'm like, yeah, I beat JDCR, even though it happened like freaking 10 years ago. I bring that shit up like it was yesterday. Like, yep, I did it.
And JDCR, though, I mean, like, for those that don't know, is fucking still prevalent in the Tekken community. You know?
And T6, he was young. Now he's like, he's barely 30 years old, I think now. But in T6, he was really young. Like, I think that was when he first started like traveling and getting into it. Because like Tony said, the guys were like Whole Man, Ni, Nin. Those were like the legends.
Yeah.
And
awesome. Awesome. Tony, what about you, my friend?
And so I got there's too many. Like I would like Bell Devils was telling a story. I kind of went through like 10 different ones. I'm trying to pick like which one I should tell because I like so my favorite story, my favorite moment is not suitable for podcast, unfortunately, due to the time it took place. Damas, if you'll remember East Coast Throwdown 2, the wheels on the bus.
Yes.
That is my favorite moment. That is my favorite moment. But it is not, as you know, it's not.
Oh, did we lose you, Tony? Must be driving through that part of Syracuse.
Come on the other side where all the cars is at.
I will be there in just one moment.
He's like, where's my food? But no, there's so many memories. Like at the MLG tournaments, so everybody likes to think of the Koreans as being very quiet at tournaments. They're not. The Koreans talk so much shit. Freaking Fighting GM, he beat Nin in tournament, right? Nin got so pissed off, and he found Fighting GM, took out his wallet, and started like screaming and cursing in Korean, asking for a money match against him.
Yeah.
And like, and it was so funny, and I think they did money match, and I think he beat him again. So
yeah, man, Vinny, you got to take over. I'm focusing real hard on Dave right now.
I'm watching. So, Thomas, have you ever been in the car when Tony ran out of gas?
Man,
I knew that was coming
out
up.
of gas.
I knew that was coming up.
21 out of gas is oh my god. That is normal at this point. Like,
it kind of is.
It's as normal as peanut butter and jelly. Okay, like, yeah. So it was one winter. And this is one at a time. So one winter, we was going down to New Jersey for a tournament. We was going down 8 on a break, and Tony had I don't know how much gas he had. I didn't really pay attention, but he's like, "We good, we'll be fine." And it's freezing cold. I don't know if you ever been in a car with Tony, But for some reason, every car that Tony ever has is about the size of a Tic Tac, and it only has like one walk-in door. Windows don't work. Heat don't work. It's a 20 mobile at this point.
I've heard.
So we in this car. We all packed in this car like a goddamn, and we in some town that somebody of my color shouldn't be in. We run out of gas. Not even like halfway through our trip, and Tony's is like, "You out of gas." Like, man, nonchalant. He didn't feel bad about it or nothing. And everybody's pissed. Everybody's pissed off.
Now, don't put feelings in my mouth, Thomas. I felt bad.
He didn't feel bad because the way you said, he's like, "You out of gas," and I was like, "Yeah, there's no gas." So, cops came, got us, and this is the first time I've ever been in the back seat of a police car ever. Never been. So he takes us to go get gas and all that stuff, and I'm in the back seat, and my dumbass decides to try to open up the door like it's a regular car, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, get the child
In the back
lock
of the cop car, or
Yeah, I went back. I never been about it. I never been in a cop car before, so. Well, now I know that the back doors don't open.
yeah, well, they usually keep criminals in the back.
Well,
I love that you asked if the child lock was on.
I did. I was like, "You got the child lock on?" He's like, "The hell are you talking about?" And the police officer was like, "Oh, you're not one of those." I'm like, "No, I am not." I mean, there's one time Tony left us in Philadelphia once.
Yeah.
Yep, he left us in
You just want
Philadelphia.
to hear my side of the gas story first before moving to another story, Thomas? All right.
We don't need your side of the story, Tony. We know your side of the story. All right, now go ahead.
All right. So, like, there's no excuse, right? There's no excuse. There is a reason why. So, as a delivery driver, which I'm currently doing, it's like, you gotta be, and you don't have a lot of money, you gotta be kind of frugal with the amount of money you put in your car. Because the amount of money you put in your car is equal to, like, how much money you make, right? So you want to maximize, efficiency. So I'm very good about knowing how many miles per gallon my cars get, right? So
Yeah.
I had put in at the time, before going to get people, exactly enough gas to get us from Syracuse to Binghamton, where we were going to stop and get gas because it was cheaper than in Syracuse. Now,
Yeah.
the problem is that I, like, drove all over the fucking place picking people up at Syracuse instead of just picking them up at, like, one place. So I had put on, like, 10 to 15 miles driving around the city before we left. I just leaving the car running, sitting around. So, I'm driving out there, and I'm confident because I'm like, I've done the math. And then I was just like, all of a sudden the car was like, oops. Yeah. Shouldn't have drove around. And we didn't, listen, because we weren't in, like, a town. We were on 81. And we ran out of gas right near wherever that rest stop was, right? And that's where, it looked like, it was a normal rest stop that we maybe would have, like, something inside. But no, it was like one of those ones that's just like, hey, look at the map of New York or whatever. And we're like, uh-oh. And so then we got gas, and I was like, and we got the gas finally. I was like, so are we going? We're going to go. We're going to continue. Everyone's like, no! What are you talking about? We don't want to ride with you anymore. We're going back. And I'm like, oh, guys, come on. Like, forgive and forget. Nobody wanted to forgive and forget.
Bro, it was
They wanted
fucking
to go home.
cold.
Hey,
Alright,
Fair-
it was
fair
cold. We were mad, we were tired, and we told you to get gas before we left. He said, "Hey, Tony, your gas tank looking kind of, bare. Let's go ahead and fill it up." You're like, "We good."
You're right. You're
We
right.
told
That
you.
is 100% true.
So,
That is 100% true.
so even if you went, if Stu went around, picked us up, and you got in your car, we told you that, hey, let's get gas.
Mm-hmm.
But
But I didn't listen.
No,
Didn't listen.
driving with Tony is always an adventure. Oh man, I remember it'd be winter time driving with Tony. I remember we was coming from his dad's house at the time, and this man had an avalanche of snow on his car, and his dad used to live on the hill. I don't know. You ever been to like Camillus and like that area, but it was like a hill, like a initial D type hill.
On like a hill, yeah.
Yes, and like we were driving down that hill. He just scraped up just a little bit so he can see, and this man, he's doing like 40 down these hill in the snow, and it's crazy. And I'm like, I'm gonna die. And I'm like,
This is it. This is it. This is how we go out.
Yep. But there's one thing Tony's never did. He's never gotten us killed.
Nope.
That's right.
We
You
never
got
crashed.
there. You got there safely. All right.
Mm-hmm.
May have taken you a little while. You may have had to take a little pit stop for no gas, but you got there.
I do have
Yeah.
one more. Tony, I was told there was once a raccoon locked in your car.
No, whoa. There's no raccoon locked in the car. That's not what happened. What happened is that's the story. Okay, so
Let's hear it. What's the
I
story?
tell this story a lot, but I will tell this story the best of my ability. So, it was a dreaded trip. I went to Frosty Faustings with Paul Fairnasty. Rest in peace, Fairnasty. In terms of like his FGC career, I don't know what happened to him, but like he's not around anymore. But like so like I had won Frosty Faustings in Tekken the year previously, right? And so I was like, yo, I'm gonna go back the next year and like defend my crown or whatever, right? And so it's like Frosty Faustings is in fucking like Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm gonna drive from Syracuse to Chicago. I've done it before, right? So this trip has a lot of stuff that goes down, but basically I'm driving and we're just driving forever, right? And like we've been like out there, it has been like 8 hours of driving or something. We're like in the middle of like Illinois, and like I'm just not like paying attention because I'm fucking tired, and I run out of gas. Like
What?
I'm like, oh my god, just like I don't even know what's happening. I'm like, oh my god, we're running out of gas. So Paul's there. Paul's like, he's terrified, right? He's like, are we? Oh my god, what are we gonna do? I'm like, hey man, don't worry. I got a gas can. I come prepared for this kind of thing because it happens too often, right? So we had passed an exit, not like only like a mile and a half, 2 miles back, and I was like, and I could see the lights of the off ramp and like the gas station in the distance. I'm like, hey, okay, Paul, just stay here. I'm gonna go walk and I'm gonna go get us this gas, right? Like, just give me like 30-ish minutes, right? So I start walking. I'm walking down the interstate, right? I'm walking, and then I'm getting closer and closer to the gas station. I see it, but there's a fucking fence, right? And just really, really tall grass. And I'm like, man, like, I'm gonna have to like get around this somehow. Like I either gotta walk all the way around this fence, like to the part where you get off the on-ramp where the cars go, which is like another half mile, or I can just like climb over this fence if I just get through this tall grass, and it's right there. So I'm like, I'm gonna go climb over this fence. So I start walking into the tall grass, right? And I'm walking, and you walk through tall grass, it makes noise. But then I'm like, did I hear something? Like, stop, right? No, I guess I didn't hear anything. Start walking again. Closer. I thought I hear something. I stop. Now this time, I still hear something. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Something's in the fucking grass, right? And then all of a sudden, like, it was like fucking Jurassic Park. Like, I just see the grass like moving in front of me, and then I'm like, okay, and like I start taking a step back, and then the grass starts moving aggressively towards me, and I'm like, oh my fucking god! And then all of a sudden, I'm like backing up, and I'm holding a gas can in front of me, and out leaps this fucking raccoon, just like, and then fucking just like I just block it with the gas can, and I fucking dip. I just like run out of that tall grass, and I just jumped back on the thing. I'm like, nope, walking all the way around. And so I just walked the extra half a mile, got off the off ramp, walked off, got gas, and then walked all the way back. By the time I got there was like a police officer with the car, and he's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "We ran out of gas." And I didn't mention anything about the raccoon, and he was just like, "I just want to make sure you're okay." And then we put gas in the car, and then we took off, and then more shit happened. But that's the raccoon story. That's the actual story. There was no raccoon in the car. I was just accosted by a raccoon in tall grass. That was all.
Wait, so you hit the raccoon? You hit the raccoon with the parry, and it moved on.
Yeah, it was like pretty much.
You hit the raccoon with the parry with the gas can. Thank goodness you had the gas can for two reasons,
Your side
right?
of the story is so much better.
Thank goodness you had the gas can.
I know, right?
Like,
Listen, I watched a video on Twitter last week of a fucking raccoon attacking a little girl outside her house. They're fucking vicious. So the fact that you got away,
the noise they make is crazy. The noise they make is crazy. I was so fucking scared, dude. I thought it was like watching me from like the bushes still. I was like, I'm not going back in. I don't care if I walked like a quarter mile down the road, he could still be there, or she, or whatever.
When you were telling that story, all I can envision is that scene in fucking Jurassic Park 2 when the InGen members are walking through the fucking tall grass and they're just getting picked off by the raptors. That's all I can imagine.
Yeah. Oh my god. It was kind of like that.
Oh my god.
Oh man, but yeah.
Man, there's so many stories. There's so many.
There's too many. There's legitimately too many.
All right. So there's
yes, go ahead.
There's one story that I absolutely have to hear from your guys' perspective. And Vinny, I know you know I'm about to ask this. All right.
Yes.
But listen. All right, one time at the Vanilla Dome, there was a special showing of a documentary of a very special first to 10.
Oh my god.
Match. And I want to hear the lead up, the perspective, everything. Because first of all, the documentary is a thing of beauty. It was wonderful. Loved watching it. It's a piece of fighting game history here in Syracuse. But Damas, can you please share your side of the story of the first to 10 with Kid Goggles in Marvel 3?
Oh my god. So in Marvel 3, Syracuse, so when it comes to the upstate area, Syracuse was probably the best when it came to Marvel 3.
Probably. That is not a probably. We were the best.
Yes, so we were the best. But at first, Rochester got us in one tournament. And from that moment on, that's when we first met Kid Goggles. I don't know who the fuck this guy was at all.
Some kid with goggles. That's all you thought he was.
He came in with fucking goggles on his head. He's like, yo, I'm Kid Goggles. I'm like,
in here, what do you think this is? Digimon? What are you wearing goggles on your head for? Come on now, guy.
Whatever. And so he was talking shit, but then after a while, Syracuse, we started whooping everybody's ass. We started beating I beat Albany by myself 5-0. We beat up on Rochester, we beat up on the Buffalo crew, we beat up on every single body, and we had Invite to Curly Mustache. I was getting second place at majors, and they was just fucking pissing everybody off at Doctor Strange, showing people Doctor Strange tech that nobody never knew about. Tony was freaking playing Rocket Raccoon and Zero while doing lightning loops about winning, and God was like, "Yo, I want to money match you," and I'm like, "No."
He just wanted to come in, beat ass.
Yeah, he's like,
money
"Yo,"
match you.
He's like, "Yo, I could beat you. I want to money match you." I'm like, "I mean, I'll play you, but I don't want to play you for money." He's like, "Cause you're scared," and I'm like,
"Ooh, talking all sorts of shit."
I'm
all
like,
kinds
okay.
of shit.
So for a whole year, he was hounding me to money match, and then Tony and we decided to go to Rochester. I guess just to hang out, just get ready for a tournament or something, just to hang out. And I finally caved and decided I was going to do the money match. So Tony wanted to go ahead and do an interview with goggles, and I didn't see the interview. But I know there was shit talking.
Oh, like an old school wrestling promo.
Yeah, and apparently from what I can remember, I think he said that he's gonna 10-0 me. He's gonna maybe give me a round or something like that, so he can switch characters.
Oh man, he was basically saying you were free.
Yeah, he said I was free as fuck. He's like, yo, I'm about to. Pretty much, he was saying that he's gonna dick me down. All right,
Man.
that's what he was saying. I'm just like, okay, and I was humble as fuck. I was just like, I guess I'm money matching him.
Yeah.
Because I hated his team.
So now, who were you playing versus who did he play?
So, the team that I played mostly throughout the life of Marvel 3 was Trish, Hulk, Sentinel.
Yeah.
And that team, on paper, when you look at it, shouldn't work whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the way that I played Trish, it worked out. The way that I played the game, like I play fighting games. Each character that I play, it's a me character. You're like, okay, that's Damas. Okay, so that's why he's playing that character, because that character does X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And so you can always know, if you look at a fighting game, look at a roster, you know that's Damas' character. That's the kind of character he will play, and lo and behold, that's who I play. So, and he was playing Beautiful Joe, Morgan, and honestly, I don't remember what the last character was. X-23. Okay, yes, and X-23. And so we get to the tournament time. You know, we do the tournament, whatever. Then it's money match time. He's hyped. He's ready. He's you know, he's got his big boy pants on and everything. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
And I proceeded to just beat this man's ass. There was one round, like, I tried not to laugh, but I couldn't hurt. I kept like smirking, and he's just getting upset. He's screaming, and like he started screaming like I couldn't move, and I just started laughing, and I looked at him. So one thing that people hate about me is that I look at you, like if I hit you like in a move or something, I would look at you, and you just get pissed, and like I just turn and I just give you this dumbest look, and but the main story really comes from people who actually watch the first to 10. Yeah, like from Tony, like that's because they got to see things that I couldn't see. So Tony's view of it would be much better than mine. Dave's view is much better than mine, but
yeah, well, I remember watching the movie that Tony put together, and all I can remember is Kid Goggles like freaking out, rocking back and forth, screaming, "Can't do nothing!" And you just sitting there, just cool as a cucumber, not phased whatsoever, just beating ass. And I remember like it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was wonderful. And then the best part was that while this was all going on, the beatdown was all going on, it's just constantly like Damas, Tony, D, freaking Dave, everybody just like sitting there chatting like, oh yeah, we just weren't expecting Damas to, you know, he was sitting there. We figured he'd win, but man, Kid Goggles, he was just freaking out. It's a thing of beauty, and we've been trying to get this video, this clip, to share. And Tony, hopefully you can help us out with that at some point, because people need to see it. It's so legendary.
I mean, it's on YouTube. It's just delisted. I have it. I can send people a link. That's how I played it at Chris's place.
Fucking legendary.
I mean, I can tell you more about the creation of the film, right?
Yes, I want to hear that next.
Yes.
I want to hear that next. Okay. We heard the story from the man that played the first of 10. Let's hear the creation of it.
Okay, so basically, it was my freshman year at SU. I put that freshman in quotations because, you know, I went to OCC, got a 2-year degree in general studies, then like used it to get into SU and whatnot. And then, like, I had to do my SU stuff mostly part-time because I had to work to pay for everything, right? But, like, this is supposed to be, like, one of the freshman classes, right, for film. And you had to make a documentary. It was, like, part of the class was documentaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, documentary, and I was just like, crap. I was like, what am I going to do? And then, like, this Damas Goggles money match had been brewing for a while. And I was like, dude, I'll cover this and also the event, because it wasn't just Damas versus Goggles. So everybody remembers from that video, but it's also about like the tournament too, like Dave, Josh 99, like all these other people. It was like a culmination of a lot of stuff going down at that tournament, right? And so, you know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get a bunch of video recorders. I'm gonna get like all this stuff recorded. But I was like really new to handling like video equipment of any kind of decent caliber, and also I didn't know there was a difference between a photographer's skills and a videographer's skills. So I got Kaloon, who was really good at photography, to like hold the camera. Like, yeah, Kaloon, you deal with cameras, so you'll be good at holding a video recorder. No, Kaloon's hands are not the steadiest, right? Which led to a lot of problems in post and a lot of editing around stuff. So basically, I go out to Rochester. I get an interview with Kid Goggles. I'd never even get an interview with Damas, I don't think.
No.
And then, like, I'm like, okay. No? Yeah, I'll go. Sorry, 1 second. I'll take that delivery. Thank you very much. 901 Madison Street. Gotcha. Thank you. Anyway, so like I
Man's making that paper.
I've got multiple recorders. I got Kaloon and myself, and you know this is a Marvel tournament. There's Tekken going on and whatnot, and so then like you know like I'm doing this stuff. We're going through the bracket, and then like I gotta play Goggles, and then like Dave was like, "Oh my god, we gotta record this. Kaloon, bring the camera over here, right?" And so, like, I had to play him, and I had not been practicing Marvel at all. I was like, "Oh shit!" But like, okay, here we go, right? And then I fight, like in the video, like I play him, and then like I beat him by a pixel, right?
Yeah.
And that was led to the whole freaking shebang and whatnot. All that happens, I do the whole thing. We record it, right? We got the stream footage, we got my camera footage, we got Kaloon. You know, you couldn't have asked for like more coverage. Just it wasn't the stablest coverage, right? So I've got all the footage together, and I'm like, all right, this is great. I got multiple story threads that all come together, but like, I gotta create the story now, right? How do I tell the story? And then I basically was like, all right, I need a charismatic person to like add something as an interview, right? And so that's when I got Dave, right?
Yeah.
And I added Dave to the mix, and I was like, I gave Dave a list of questions. I'm like, I'm going to ask you these questions. Like, you can think about your answers in advance. And then we do the interview with Dave. It's great. And then I'm like, I need something else to tie this thing together. And that's how I, like, roped D'Angelo into this, right? So, like, well, I'm, like, editing footage. And all this footage is on digital DV tape, digital videotape. It's not, like, this is before, like, you know, SanDiscs or CF cards were like a big thing in terms of recording stuff. It's all on these little tiny videotapes. And so I had to like export all the footage off of there onto a computer and do all this stuff. And meanwhile, while I'm doing this editing, all this thing, me and D like worked on a script together. And like D was like sitting in the corner of a soundproof room, just doing these audio recording takes over and over again to talk about like what happened. And then D was like adding his own flair into it too. And it was just friggin' like, it was chef's kiss, right? I would love to go back in and like remaster it at some point, because I actually have all the DV tapes still. But like, we go through all this, I edit everything together. And like, I remember I presented to like my class. I presented it to class, and the response was less than thrilling. Like, my professor looked at me, he was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's like, you know, so he's like, yeah, I mean, like, there are storylines, but he's like, what's with the crappy quality? Like, why are you, like, you cut, and why is this, like, cheeky? And I was like, I'm sorry, man, it, like, you know, I was kind of, like, off the cuff, I was just kind of shooting stuff. So I actually got kind of, like, ripped apart for it a little bit.
Really?
Right? Yeah, like, some of the footage, because it was, like, if you don't know FGC stuff, I guess it could be slightly difficult to follow. And, like, the video quality, like, for him, it's like, you know, those tapes are, like, 480p, right? Like, they're low quality. So, like, when you try to zoom in on them, because Kaloon is, like, not, for some reason, he just didn't want to get in position right behind me and Goggles, right? He, like, was off to the side, right? And when I have to, like, show the video and zoom in on it so you can see what's happening, right? Like, it's crappy quality. Like, there's nothing I can do about it because there isn't pixels there to do it. So he was not happy about it. And I was like, oh, like, this thing is, like, you know, it's all right, or whatever. And I showed it to, like, Dave and a couple other people. And then it kind of, like, went in the vault, right? But the people who saw it remember it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they remembered that event. And then just, like, that it never dies. People are, like, they talk about it forever and ever. And they're just, like...
Legendary.
Like, the goggles thing, the 10-0, the 10-0. Like... And then, like, you pull it out now, and it's just, like, it's such a time capsule, and it's, like, the amount of care that goes into it, like, you kind of just don't see that with shit, right? Like, if I had if somebody gave me the money and the time, I had the time, I would love to do little documentaries like that, like, about past FGC stuff, right? Whether it's in our community or not, but, like, it was just this perfect snippet of time where I had to do something for a project, I had the gear, the thing was happening, all the stuff was coming together, and then just the storyline just culminated into something that, like, is great. And then the ending, like, these words, and he was just like, I love it, he was just like, all that talking, you have to question, was he trying to convince others that he was good, or was he trying to convince himself? And it's just like, oh my fucking god, dude. It's so savage and kind of, like on the nose, just great, like, subtle. I love it. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So yeah, that's the story of how that stuff got made. It was actually a pain in the ass in the editing, right? And, like, I think there's a better version of that film that could be made, like, going back and making changes, but, like, that would have to be something where it's, like, it would take a lot of time, but, like, at least we have the one as it stands, as it is right now. So yeah, after that, Goggles, he was never the same, and neither was Rochester. Because not only did fucking Goggles, like, lose it, his boy Pika Pika.
Oh, man.
Fucking, he was heartbroken as well. Oh my god, are these people really gonna just walk in the middle of the road when there's a green light? Come on, guys. Like,
oh man, poor Pete. Oh, poor Neil. He bet it on Goggles too.
He did.
Yeah. Everybody made money of Pika Pika that day.
Man.
Something interesting to know about that tournament. Me and Polish met in Losers of like, it was serendipitous. We were simultaneously supposed to play each other in Losers of Marvel and in Losers of Tekken at the exact same time. Like, we read in bracket. And so we sat down to play the Marvel match, and Dave looks at me and he goes, dude, I don't want to play you, dude, in Marvel. And then I was just like, oh. And he was like, let's make a deal. I was like, what's the deal? And he was like, you forfeit to me in Marvel, I'll forfeit to you in Tekken. And I was like, deal, done. And then we forfeited and we both moved on. And then Dave won Marvel. And then I ended up getting second in Tekken in that tournament, like coming all the way back and beating Reno and all the people, and then just losing to Zach in finals. But yeah, that was because, I mean, I could have beaten Dave. This is the thing, is that Dave's super good, but I had played him enough, and my Zero Virgil was good enough where it's like I could get lucky and beat him. Like, it's a very real, like, possibility for that to happen. And so it's much better for, like, him to move on in the tournament that he wants to win, and for me to move on in the tournament I want to win, than both for us to risk, like, ruining our chances for the other one. And that was a decision made behind the scenes at that tournament to move forward. Take it how you will.
All right, fair enough. Nobody's judging at that point. Nobody's judging. It's in the past. No, that seriously though, if you could send me the video. I want to watch it because
Oh, 100%.
I remember. I don't remember what the hell we were playing at the Vanilla Dome, but we debuted it, and I remember there was probably like, I don't know, 20 of us sitting in Chris's apartment around the TV watching this. And Damas, I don't think you were there. I think you may have moved at that point.
Nah,
but
it was before Damas moved, for sure.
Oh man, it was so fucking good though. And I remember thinking to myself, I remember that quote from D at the end. And I was like, damn. This was fucking legendary. It was so good. It was so good. I want to watch it again.
My favorite quote is Dave being like, to lose 10-0, he's like, you have 10 games to win one game. He's like, it's just bad. It's just really bad. That's my favorite line from the
shit wasn't even close. Like the matches weren't even close. Like there were matches where I just timed them out. I was just doing my own thing. I was just flying around with fucking tricks.
You bodied him. You freed him up.
Yeah,
it was great, legendary, and he was talking all kinds of shit beforehand.
I made him pause. He paused. And I'm like, I'm take it.
Man, so awesome, so awesome.
Yeah. Oh man.
Damn. Well, Vinny, how we doing on time? I know it's 10:14.
We got time for one more. One more banger story.
Damas, you lead and I'll follow up. If you got a banger. I know you got bangers.
Oh man. I don't know if let's see. Well, it's not really a banger. It's just more of how portrayed I felt by Tony and D'Angelo. One night we was in New Jersey for on a break tournament, and it was for Marvel 3, and I had to play against Brandon Spear in tournament, and these two motherfuckers decided they was gonna bet against me and shit on Brandon instead. And like
you gave him the buff. You gave him the buff.
Oh man, I bodied the fuck out of Brandon that night in that round. And I looked at them too. I was like, you both motherfuckers, you'll really bet on this man to beat me? Like in tournament?
What game were you guys playing?
Marvel 3.
Oh boy.
Like I was mad. I felt so betrayed. I was like, really?
Oh.
Hey man, we got two boys. You gotta pick one of your boys.
Yeah, just the fact that you both picked the same guy. Yeah, split
Brandon's funny. Brandon's a funny guy, man. Like Damas don't make me laugh like Brandon do.
No, I make people angry. That's my thing. There's been times where D'Angelo threatens to punch me in the face.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yo, tell the Zach 5 story.
Oh my god, yo. So I still host sessions at my house, and one day, like people come over and they'll stay all day. Like they'll come and not leave, and we'll just play games. We would play Marvel. So one day I invited Zach over to play. Zach and D came over, and they came in the afternoon and they didn't leave at all. We just played Marvel 3, and I was just beating them, and I was just playing like random characters too at one point, and remember how I told you every time I do a move, I would look at you? So I had Hawk H on Zach for like the 1500th time, and he's pissed off at this point, and I just look at him and I just smirk, and he just looks back and he's just like, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking face. And he's dreading me, like he's got really pissed off, and so he wanted to fight me in my own house. D'Angelo wanted to fight me in my own house. Like Marvel used to make people so angry.
People want to fight you. You're too good.
Here's the worst part: is that so if I had to rank the people who were like in Syracuse who were like the best in Marvel 3, I would put Dave as number 1. On paper, like if you look at on paper and knowledge of the game, I'll put D'Angelo, and then I will put Tony.
Okay.
as top 3. So when I say on paper, for like D, it's because the characters he played Magneto, Doom, Phoenix, Magneto, Doom, Dormammu, Magneto, Doom, Virgil. Like he played top tier,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't think he could have. But he couldn't put the characters together. Like, I mean, not put the characters together. He couldn't put the pieces together. Like for some reason, he was never good when it came to tournaments or high pressure situations when he played Marvel 3. But on paper, he's probably the second best person. Dave was the best, but he never traveled. So I mean, locally he won all the local tournaments. If you go to Rochester, he probably win those tournaments. But he just really didn't travel. And Tony, what?
Who are we talking about? Sorry,
Dave.
I was doing a delivery.
Dave.
Oh yeah.
Tony, when it came to Marvel 3, Tony's just he's just a whiz when it comes to fighting games. Like he can coach you, and he just something about fighting games. He's very good at that. And
Yeah.
but
Considering I did not own Marvel 3 for like 3 years into its run, I just gained all my skills by playing against you guys. Like I still can't believe I did as well as I did. Like on borrowed copies of Marvel 3.
when it came to myself, I probably put myself like 4th best. But when it came to tournaments outside of Syracuse or just traveling, I always had the best finishes. Like I would finish a lot in top 16. I would make it into top 8. But I would probably say Dave was the best in that game.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm saying I concur. Like Dave was the best Marvel 3 player, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was consistent and everything. But like the thing that hampered him is just like, I mean, a couple things. I mean, like the opening up the bakery, a bunch of other stuff. You know, it's like he traveled and like I think it was Toryukin. He went to Toryukin. He got top 8, right?
Yeah.
And like he was doing like when he traveled, he did really well. But the thing is that like he was too wrapped up in other stuff to travel, right? And it was just like whatever. Damas. So in terms of tournament performance overall, Damas was like the best because he traveled and he fucking put out, right? Like I would enter the occasional Marvel 3 tournament, but like I was always that guy at majors where it was like I would play you and then they're like wait, are you in this room? Like, no, I actually didn't enter. I didn't enter. I didn't enter Marvel. I would play people in rooms like, oh my god, it's Andre, like all these other people, and I would like smoke them up, and then they were like, what the fuck is it? What the fuck? Who is this guy? And the only time I ever actually kind of got to show stuff off is like when we were in that curly mustache, remember?
Yeah.
And I was like fucking people up, and I just fucking choked it against Rog. I almost beat PR Rog in that set, right? So like, you know, it was there, like, but like, it's just such a fun game, but like, I guess like I can never truly commit to like another game that's not like Tekken and like truly take it seriously. Like I feel like you can have one game that you're really trying to be good at, right? And then the other games are kind of like whatever. But the thing about Marvel 3 that made it so fun is that we had people that like, it was like a big secondary game for a lot of people, right? So it was so easy for me to like have fun and play with other people and just the ability to experiment and have fun, right? You know, like Zero, Virgil, Rocket Raccoon, Zero, Virgil, Strider, Wesker, Virgil, Strider, right? Those are the teams that I played. And I ended up picking up Wesker, Virgil, Strider because it was so fucking easy, right? It was easy to mop people up with that team, right? And, you know, like, it is what it is. I love that game. I miss that game so much. Like, if we did tournaments again for that game, like, I'd fucking whip it out. I'd practice a little bit. It'd take a while to get the mojo back, but, like,
Yeah.
I love that game. About
I think it's hard to get back into that game now. I think because that game it's in the end game now. So trying to play Marvel 3 now, it just wouldn't be as fun anymore.
I meant most like playing against other people we played against, like playing in the community, right? Like I'm not gonna, I would never like travel or do anything for Marvel 3 most likely, but you know, it's always fun to like go back to that game and just like get really pissed off, you know?
Oh man, so many Hulk H's that.
Yeah. I can't tell you the amount of times where I was like, all right, he's gonna Hulk H, so I'm gonna hit him with this move that's got multiple hits, but then just like this last hit doesn't come out in time to break the armor, and I get H, and I'm like, shit. That freaking sucked.
I mean, I beat him. He won Evo.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of secret stuff too. I mean, like I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I might as well bring this up too. It's like, I like hate to fucking say this because it sounds so arrogant, but Damas, you know this is true. I was the person who discovered Dark Virgil. I was the person who discovered that. At Final, I remember because I played Zero Virgil Rocket Raccoon, and basically I discovered that if you went into X Factor and Devil Trigger, like he was a monster, right? And so it was like my whole gameplay, because Rocket Raccoon sucked. I couldn't play Rocket Raccoon, he was an assist, right? So basically, all the strats, throwing the fucking scythe, all that shit, I did all that shit before Shady K. And at Final Round that year, that was where I was just mentioning, I was in the room with, oh my god, it's Andre, and I was just cooking people with X Factor Devil Trigger Virgil, and people were like, what the fuck is this? And then, like, 2 months later, Shady K at FGTV is like, hey, Virgil with X Factor, you know, and Devil Trigger's really good, right? And then, like, you know, he gets all the credit for that, but, like, you know, it is what it is. I didn't seek out the, what's it called? The recognition for it. I just did it, right? I was never in it for the recognition. So you can say, like whatever about it. So that's why I don't like to bring it up, too, because it sounds really fucking arrogant to talk about that shit. And I don't like to, like, say that, right? But, like, I was a pioneer in that regard. I remember going down to Next Level with you, Damas. I think it was a tournament that you beat Ray in, and I played, like, Omni Scythe and against him, and I just was cooking him with my X Factor version. He was like, what is this? And I was just like, oh, yeah, that's a cross-up there. Yeah, you don't need a combo. That's plus now, you know. I was going wild, right? And so, you know, but, like, it is what it is. In that game, it was easy to discover shit that nobody else discovered because there were so many avenues to take things.
Yeah.
Right.
And, like, that was such a fun game, though.
Yeah, dude.
It was such a fun game, and, like, I was excited for freaking that new Marvel game, Infinite, and that game was so bad. Oh, God,
Bro.
That game was bad.
Yeah, like, everybody dropped that game the day it came out, pretty much. Like, I remember, like, I played it, I got it, I played it, I was like, ooh, like, immediately you play a game, it doesn't feel good, right?
Yeah.
It feels off. You're like, ugh, movement is weird, hit stun is weird, like, this whole thing just feels bad. And it was just like, I played it, I was just like, nah, I'm good, like, because Dragon Ball was on the horizon, too, so there was, like, I don't need to force myself to make this work when I can play Dragon Ball in, like, a month, right? Yeah. I feel like that's how everybody thought. Like, nobody played, like even Lord Chow, like, he was just like, yeah, I'm not about this. Like, nobody really gave a crap about Infinite, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, it deserves it. Like, why say unfortunately? Like, that game sucks, period. And people that try to, like, say, oh, the gameplay's really good. No, it's fucking not. Nobody who actually plays Marvel seriously thinks that game has good gameplay. It's bullshit. It's scrubby. The movement sucks. Like, everything about that game is bad. So, like, I'm not a fan. And
I did, like, one tournament for it, and that was it. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, and honestly, that game is the reason I'm, like, hesitant about fucking the League of Legends game. I'm just like, ooh, 2v2? 2v2 tag Marvel? I don't know if I want to do that. Just because, like, Infinite just left such a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I don't want to, like, it's just, ugh. I feel like I know you feel the same way, Moose.
That's fair. I mean, I enjoyed my time with Infinite, but then again, I've always been the type that I love watching Marvel 3. Would always love to learn Marvel 3, and I just felt like it wasn't a good, like you guys were saying, like a good predecessor. You know what I mean? To Marvel 3. How do you go from what Marvel 3 is, or successor? Yeah, not predecessor. How can you go from something that's so timeless like Marvel 3 to that? I mean, all I can think of is like blue-haired Dante. And that's like that. There it is. That's Marvel Infinite right there for me. Blue-haired Dante, looking all fucking gross. Yeah,
it's a cash grab. That's what it was. It was just a cash grab. You know, it was showcasing the. It was this. It's to show off the characters from the Marvel movies. That's what it was. Really, it wasn't. There was no like passion put into that game. There was no effort put in. And
yeah, but you know, one character I thought was sick in that game, and he was very similar to Marvel 2, was Venom. I thought Venom fucking looked awesome. I thought he was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest problems with that game is it's just like, it didn't, it was like, it felt like a game that was like ashamed to be a Marvel game. In the sense that like, they kept trying to remove, like, they remove shit. Like there's so much shit where it's like, part of Marvel is like, you hold that mix up. You eat it. The neutral's important. Like all this stuff, and they were like, we're gonna nerf neutral, we're gonna make like movement much worse, we're gonna remove plank dashing, like everything's gonna be like slower, we're gonna focus the game on like, we're gonna nerf cross-ups, right? Because in that game it had like a cross-up defense all of a sudden, right? So cross-up characters always became unusable, right? It was stupid. And then it was like, okay, so the whole game is like, I get you to block. It was like, the whole game is like, oh, Amy Doom is cool, we'll give everybody Amy Doom, but like, it was lame. So it was like you made somebody block something, and then you just went for an overhead low mix-up. And previously in Marvel 3, you could do left, right, command grab, high, low, throw. There was so much variety to the offense, and in that game, it's just, the most effective thing is get him to block something, go high, low. That's it. And then you can, there's combo breaking out of stuff, it's just, and then like there's that weird thing where it's like, you tag characters in, or you kill the characters, and then they have like, they can like air tech in multiple directions, and so it's just like, it's just ugly, it feels off, everything is just, ugh. And like I said, it feels like ashamed. It's like, oh, Marvel 3 was so bad, you know, you had to hold mix-ups, and like everyone's moving around so fast. It's like, let's tone all that down, right? And then we'll make it easier, because you could just press a button and make people block a beam and go for a mix-up. It's unappealing, and that's just my opinion on that game. But that's how I really feel. I really, really don't like Infinite.
So, do you feel? Let me ask you guys this, and I think I know the answer. Do you feel Dragon Ball was the better successor to Marvel 3?
Not really.
No.
Yeah, Dragon Ball is also pretty bad. Dragon Ball is also a pretty bad game. Like like Marvel Infinite. It's a great training mode game. Like, if you just want to be in training mode, it's probably the best training mode game out there. Especially if you just want to do combos and shit like that. That's what, that's the best thing about Infinite. But other than that, the game is trash. There's so many issues, and Dragon Ball had a bunch of issues too that actually just never got fixed. They did this try to, instead of fixing the issues that they just created more issues, which is why like the game always had problems. It's popular because of Marvel and because of the name Dragon Ball. Like that, that's just gonna sell.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The options for defense were non-existent. They tried to fix that later on in different patches, but even then, it was still bad because they just added worse options. Our first damage was non-existent also, so matches were always going to time a lot. And when the game first dropped,
Yep.
And this the auto combos. The auto combos were fine. I didn't mind the auto combos. A lot of it just had to do with the basic mechanics, really.
Yeah, I think in terms of like the auto combo stuff, I mean, you could do auto combos. You just didn't get as much damage. I mean, I'm fine with that. If you put in the time, put in the work to actually learn the combos, you see the reward of better damage, all that good stuff. So I'm totally fine with auto combos being in game for things like that.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
I like all your points, but the thing that pissed me off about Infinite Losses is the game they brought Mega Man back, and it's the game that did everyone the dirtiest.
yes.
I was so
I was excited
dude,
for Mega Man.
That trailer, and they showed X. I was like, oh my god, Mega Man's coming back, and
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
going to before I worked there, going to Microgame, and I saw a bunch of you guys in a circle on release day. And I was like, what's going on over there? And Chris goes, that's the fighting game community. And I was like, there's a fighting game community in Syracuse? And of course, the game I joined the community on is probably one of the worst games we've gotten in a long time.
Let's not forget about the Easter eggs. Okay, the Easter eggs collector's edition.
Oh my god.
God.
That was the.
Bro, we had...
It looks so cool on screen. Ah, the biggest mix-up. The biggest mix-up.
It sucks
Yeah.
because the 4 statues are actually pretty nice.
The statues were sick. They were awesome. But then they were like, "Oh, we're gonna hype up the stones here," and they're these beautiful gems that you can get in this, and then you open it up, and it's literally plastic Easter eggs.
With
I
sparkles.
ain't gonna lie. Yo.
Sparkles, the biggest disappointment.
Wait, no. The eggs didn't even sparkle. The eggs had no glitter on. I think there was just like plain ass plastic Easter eggs that you got from Walmart.
God, the fucking biggest fucking.
Yo, you
mix
know how
up.
mad you gotta be if you spent $100
Listen,
Collector's Edition and you open up, it's a fucking Easter bunny in it.
if I remember correctly, the photos of that box actually looked like actual gemstones. Actually looked like actual stones.
Yeah, like
And
they
then you
look
get that.
sparkle. Yeah,
No.
it was bad.
The
Yeah,
arcade
Doom-
stick they did for it was really nice, though. A really nice
Oh, man.
arcade stick.
Ugh.
But the collector's edition, like, makes that whole just disappears, man.
Oh my god.
I would say I am happy that arcade sticks for games have gotten so much better because I remember like the Tekken 5 and Tekken 6 when they came out with like the arcade sticks that came with the games.
Mm-hmm.
They were freaking hot garbage. They were like 99-cent city type arcade sticks. Like,
Oh man. What in your opinion? And I know we're running short on time here, but what in your opinion is the best fighting game collector's edition that you guys have seen?
Ugh. I don't know.
The
I don't know.
Tekken 7 one was kind of fucking sick. It had that statue of I think it was Kazuya and Heihachi.
oh,
That
I'm
one
not
was-
a collector's edition guy, so it's like to me, like I don't care. I don't have any statues in my place, so I can't comment on that really.
Yeah.
Oh man.
yeah, it's hard for me because I never really do collector's editions. Because having that statue and all that and getting Easter eggs, I'm not a fan of that. And I've heard so many horror stories when it comes to buying collector's editions of games, whether it be fighting games or action games. Half the time, people don't even get the stuff that's advertised. Case in point would be Marvel. So,
Yeah.
um,
Man.
But-
Okay. Fair enough. Well, how about this then? We've asked this of multiple guests on the show here,
Mhm.
but how about favorite fighting game character of all time? Could be in any fighting game. The one you guys love to play the most, the one you think is the coolest, the one you think should be in every fighting game. Who would you say?
Ooh, that's a tough
Could be
one.
could be the most enjoyable character you've ever played, the most enjoyable character you ever like to watch.
This might shock some people, but honestly, the first character that comes to mind is UMVC3 Virgil. That is to me.
Mm,
Okay.
great character.
man,
Yeah.
that's not.
I
that's not a
really,
great
really love that
character.
character.
That is not a great character.
Well, I mean, great character choice. I mean, I like playing Virgil.
So
don't necessarily like playing against him.
for me, I wouldn't say I have a favorite character. I do have a favorite like character archetype. I like trap characters. I think the trap characters should always be in every fighting game.
What do you say? Who's the character?
For me, it'd be Arakune from
Okay.
Blaze Blue. I think characters like him, the way he's designed and built, they should have a character like that in every game. Testament used to be like that too. That made her into whatever this character is and Strive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, now. But
Arakune
for me-
is a sick character.
yeah, oh my god, and
So different. It was so
For-
creepy.
For
Mhm.
for the guy that hasn't really played a whole lot of Blaze Blue, is Arakune? Is he like the blob with like the white mask?
Yes.
yes,
Ah, okay, yeah.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is I almost said Hakumen too, because I really, really like Hakumen from Blaze
I
Blue
think-
in terms of his character design
yeah,
and like
Yeah.
how he's like. I might not like ever play Blaze Blue, but when we played Calamity Trigger, like and back in the day, you know, Moose, when you were playing Catfish Tuna, Taukaka, I was
Mhm.
playing Hakumen before you switched to Arakune. Kyle was playing B13 and all that stuff. You know, back when the Blaze Blue scene was popping off here, that
Yeah.
was fun. And Hakumen, even though he was not good in that game, like the idea of like this character who's like slowly gets stronger and then he just hits you and fucking obliterates you. It's a lot of fun. His design is sick too. I love his design.
oh yeah. You know, he's a character that's built on, for me, having good neutral and fundamentals, and this once you get that opening, so much you just smash them. And I like big body characters. I like big boy characters like Gigas and Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So if those characters in the game, I'm probably gonna play them. The only reason why I switched to Kuni for Tekken was because she plays Tekken 7. Like, if you look at that character, like, she's one of the few characters who actually plays the game of Tekken 7, the game the way that the game wants you to play. You got stupid mix-up. She has the best work speed. She has a high risk reward. Like Tekken 7 is such a bad game. I hate that game. I hate Tekken. I hate Tekken 7. Every time I play, I get so mad because I can't play the way I want. I can't play the way I really want to play it.
I don't know.
What is going on?
I don't know. I did something.
Alright.
I do.
So,
Damas represents opinions on Tekken 7. He does not represent the opinions of other people on this panel.
that's fair.
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, Tony, you know how I usually play. You know, I used to just play Dragon off. Just do down 4-4, down 2, down 4-4. I used to just try to poke people out, but T7 is so much harder to do that.
I agree with you.
So-
In terms of that, I think you're right. I think Tekken 8, maybe more your style. We'll see.
Oh
I think
no!
Tekken
Have you
6
seen that? You seen that trailer? He's gonna be
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
ask you
that
guys.
was
what's
gonna be
your
the
thoughts?
next question. What's your guys' thoughts so far? It's for what we know about the game.
From what I saw, from that little image, that little trailer that we got, it's gonna be a fucking clusterfuck. It's not gonna be your grandfather. It's not your daddy's Tekken. That's what I'm gonna say. It's not your daddy's Tekken. There's gonna be fucking explosions and everybody has access to freaking some I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't even describe it. All I know is that from what I see, it's just gonna be wild. That game is gonna be insane. I'm for it.
Yeah.
And watch me be totally wrong. Watch that shit just be like Tekken 5 or something. I don't know. Slow and steady.
They took the life out of Paul's hair. I don't know what happened. He's fallen into the same archetype that is Ken and everybody else.
He took
They're
too many
older.
managers.
Fucking bum. Make him a bum.
Isn't he a bum anyway? Like, isn't Paul like
I think
pretty much broke?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like his story.
Like, didn't he win like a tournament and then like blew the money or some shit like that?
I think so.
He do that a lot, it seems.
Hanging out with freaking Law, just blowing through money and,
And
shit.
Steve. Yeah, it's a weird pairing. Law, Paul, and Steve.
Yeah, that's a weird friendship. But what's your take on the 20? Like, what do you think the game is gonna be like?
So, the safe answer and the honest answer is it's too early to tell, which is like the truth of the matter. But I think the idea of everybody basically having like a version of Claudio Starburst is really cool. I like, which is what this heat system is supposed to be. The idea, it's like it activates moves, you enter heat, it's activated off a hit, and then it's like, okay, you've got some extra moves or abilities and you get to spend it and then it goes away, and then you've got to get it back, right? We don't know, again, the details, but that is an interesting idea, because when Tekken 6 first came out, and Rage was introduced, there was a lot of speculation on what Rage was, because it wasn't that clear. So a lot of people like thought, it like makes moves counter hit on normal hit. Oh, you're gonna get extra moves in Rage. Oh, like and you do more damage. It turns out all it was a damage buff, right?
Mhm.
But what this system kind of is like what a lot of people were thinking Rage would be initially. Like come to life, and I like this idea. And I think like if that shit's on like a timer too. So in my head, what I'm envisioning, right, is like you enter heat mode, right, and then your life bar starts to glow, but it slowly starts to, like the glow like starts to move down the life bar slowly. Like there's a timer set on it, pretty much, right? To me, I think they're going to do something like that, and the reason I think that is they want to encourage aggression, right? And putting a time limit on the ability to use something like makes you have to use it and makes you be more aggressive with it. So basically what I think is going to happen is based on like you hit a certain move, you're going to enter heat, and it's slowly going to drain, kind of like how max mode drains for Geese. And like the bar, except it's just like a little thing around your life bar, a glow near your life bar, and it's going to slowly move down, and you've got to like use it within that time, or else you're just going to lose it. That's my opinion, right? And to me, that's cool. That adds nothing but good. If it's like that, that adds nothing but good things to the game. Because more kit, more tools, more opportunity to do stuff is cool. I love Claudio Starburst mechanic as a Claudio player. Like, I think that's one of the reasons I played him. Like, this idea that you get, like, buffed attacks, you know? And the ability to think about, like, all the cool broken moves that characters used to have that they took away because they were like, character can't have this move all the time. Well, if they have it as a heat move and you have to earn it and you get one shot to use it, that's much better. So, like, Armor King's old Dark Upper can come back, you know? Like, there could be a lot of cool stuff they can do with that, right? And I think that can help distinguish characters, too. It's like, oh, King, you know, like, he's not that scary to duck against, but, like, if he has that fucking Rage Drive Atlas hammer when he gets in heat, you're not gonna want to fucking duck anymore, right? Because that shit'll send you to the moon, right? So I like this idea of, like, as a Claudio player, when you get Starburst and you get forward 1+2, that safe launcher, this half-life, it's like all of a sudden you play around the fact that you know people are waiting for you to blow it, right? So you start hitting them with more lows, right? And, like, there's more mixes and mind games that can come from that. And to me, that's not bad. But then, of course, we also have to think about movement and all this other stuff. Stage interactables, honestly, I'm not worried about it. To me, it's like, oh, the thing blows up, they go in the air, so what? Same thing, I knock them down off a balcony, I get a combo, whatever, dude. It's same old fucking bullshit, just different fucking dressing for me. I'm not really, like, impressed by that. I think it'll be a big nothing burger. I'm more interested to see, again, like, tiny changes to the system. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that changed in Tekken 7 compared to, like, 6 and before at Tag 2. Like, trades being counter hit. Like, where it's like, if you trade with somebody, you get the counter hit property. That was new in Tekken 7. Will that come back? Throws, generic throws being able to be broken with any input, 1 or 2. That was something new. Is they're going to take that away? Is back roll coming back? Right? They're talking about aggression. Are we going to get 8-frame jabs again? Are down 4-1s going to be plus on block again? Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's slowly been taken out of Tekken. And it's like, if they're talking about being more aggressive, it's like, I want to see some of that shit come back. Like, I want to see throws be stronger again. I want to see the game have that extra grounded damage that Tag 2 had, right? Where grounded hits did like 120% instead of 100%. You know, they did that in that game because there were 2 life bars, but I think if grounded moves do more damage, it can become more interesting. What are they going to do about low parry? Every game, low parry changes in how it works, right? So it's like, in this game, you could screw off of it. Before, it was a bound, and there was no bound you could do off of it, right? But, like, what are they going to do? That changes the game drastically if you can't do screws anymore off it. We saw that there's, like, bound a little bit, as at least starters to stuff. Is bound back? Can you choose between bound and screw? I don't know. There's a lot of really small things that could change a lot of the way the game is played. And I'm excited to see kind of like how that turns out, right? Because, you know, something as simple as like back roll is back changes so much. If that happens, Polish Mafia is going to be jumping up and down because all of his Nina setups are coming back, right? So we got to see. Like, that's my thought. I know it was kind of a long-winded like talk about Tekken 8 and my thoughts on it, but like I'm excited to see like things change, right? And I'm not so much of a pessimist as other people. Like, I watched FeedX's video, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, I kind of lost respect for FeedX, because I feel like he kind of doesn't quite understand Tekken. Like, he, like, sort of thinks he understands it, like, this romantic way, but he actually kind of doesn't. It actually kind of explains his playstyle the way he described it when he was talking about Tekken 7. If you watch his, like, concerns video or whatever that he has, like, he's like romanticizes situations. It's like that's not really how the game actually plays out all the time. So it's not as bad as he makes it out to be. So you have to earn your mix up like all this time. It's like, well, I got a question for you, bro. Like, if you do a move and you're at -8, like you can't set shit. So like that whole thing is gone, and most of the time when you block stuff, you earn mix up. So it's just like this whole situation, like, oh, you can't do anything. Like and whatnot, it's like that happens all the time. This happens all the time. You block a move, you're a big negative. You can't move. So like that interaction happens all the time in the game. So to say that it's gonna happen after a move and that's robbing Tekken of its depth and the ability to move out of stuff is just complete bullshit. Like that's not again. That's like a romanticism of the game to believe that you could just avoid stuff all the time with movement, no matter what the situation. And that's something that just when I see people talk about that like that, it's just like I don't know, man. It makes me want to come out of like retirement and play. That's all.
Like I don't know why he said that. Like considering the way that he plays the game and the character that he plays, like he should be excited for a game like Tekken 8. Like that would definitely that's like right down his alley. Like if what you say is true, then him getting like a plus frame down 4-1, he be in love. Like the way that he plays Noctis, like he. If anything, he should be the one that's the most excited for Tekken 8 and for what it might bring. If it brings the things that you just described, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I know you'll find that people have weird opinions on Tekken a lot of the time. Like, and there's always a romanticism of past Tekkens. It'll happen with 7 too.
Yeah.
The romanticism of Tag 2 blows my mind though. Like that's fine. Yeah, I don't think it's very weird too because people will like romanticize movement in Tekken Tag 2. Like, oh, so good. I'm like, bro, that game had 8 frames of input lag. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you couldn't move in that game because of the input lag. You couldn't break throws because of the heavy input lag in that game. That game was poorly designed, like in all aspects, right? It's like it was fun while I was playing it, but like in retrospective, that game is not good. And it's not this like movement gem of a game that like again people with rose-colored glasses like make it seem like, but that happens with every game. Everybody knows that. The last game is so much better. Street Fighter 5 will be so much better than Tekken Street Fighter 6 was And
oh my god, I can't wait for those. I cannot wait for those posts. Oh man, I love Street Fighter 5. This game was the best. Like, I mean, that's what people are saying about the last King of Fighters. Like, everybody's hating on the 15 right now, and everybody loves 14. And like, when the new Dragon Ball comes out, people are gonna hate that. The new Mortal Kombat, people are gonna hate that. And then it's going to. I mean, to be fair, MK9 and MKX were actually good games. So, with people loving those games, that's okay. Like, those were actually decent games. But
yeah,
we ain't saying anything that hasn't been said before. We're saying this. We've said people said all this shit before, but you know, like when it comes to Tekken 8, we're moving on to a new game. I just want to say that like I'm super pumped at the response in the Discord for that. The Attack from All Sides Discord, seeing like B-Man pick up Kazuya, seeing Khan playing with Jack, like expanding like their horizons. Like people are pumped and people are getting better. And this was like how Rambat started back in the day when Tekken 7 was gonna come out, and we did Tekken Tag 2 singles tournaments, right? Where we just did 1v1 in Tag 2 to get everybody ready. Like it feels like that time again where it's like people are like, oh, the game's announced. I want to play. I want to get better. I want to step up for the next time, for the next game, and that's fucking great. Because at some point, like, I don't know how much longer I can like play, you know, in terms of that shit, right? Like, the next generation has to step up, and I want the next generation to be better than me. You know what I'm saying? So like, I love the hunger that I'm seeing in the Discord, and I hope people keep it up.
It's so weird, like. I've seen the Syracuse community change so much. There's you guys now, and hopefully you guys stick around for many more years to come.
Mm-hmm.
But I just seen it, and just like Tony just said, I don't know how much longer we're gonna play. Like,
yeah, well, I think it's all about building the bench and fostering the community, you know what I mean? And you guys have certainly done that over your years in the community, and hopefully everybody continues on, and the group thrives, and the community grows.
Yeah, pushing 40.
Yeah, man. Been in it since you were 16.
Yeah, I've been doing this dance for a very long time. I've been doing this dance for a long time. And I enjoy it. I've had ups and downs. I won some money. I lost some money. I lost a lot of money. Like, god damn. But honestly, all the memories that I made has been worth every single penny.
Yeah. If you should take away, if you're listening to this podcast, the thing you should take away is that it's about the community experience. Okay?
Yes.
Like, it's like, you know what sucked? Playing Tag 2 and going to majors and being the only person from upstate there.
Yep.
And then, like, the wins and losses only meant something to me. There was nobody behind me. There was no team. That sucked. And to be honest, that's like it's not really part of the reason I go majors, but like I don't really go to majors that much because I want to go with the squad. I want to go together. I want everybody to be there and talking shit, hyping each other up. I want everybody to enjoy in the stories and the victories together. To go out by myself and compete, I don't care about that really. Like, I'm not arrogant enough. I'm not self-conscious enough where it's like that's what I want. I want my legacy, right? No, I want the community's drive. I want like Central New York Tekken to be great. Like, I want it to, like, people to be like, God damn, you know, the guys from Upstate, just like the old days. Like, watch out for Upstate, you know? Like, that's what I want. Like, and I want to spend time with people. So it's like, that's why, you know, I got 11 hours in Tekken 7 this year, and I didn't realize I played that little of the game. That's wild. But, like, you know, it's because, you know, all my time that I spent when I did play the game, I played it with people. Like, we played it together at events. We played in tournaments, right? I don't give a fuck about going online, ranking up my stupid rank. That doesn't mean anything, right? Like, it's about the community, and you know, if I can leave it a better place, if I can leave it a stronger place, by the time I have to stop playing for whatever reason, like, then I will feel like I did my job, and that's just the end of it. And like, I want everybody to be able to create those memories, like me and Dom said. I want, like, 15 years from now, well, like another podcast or this podcast will run. You know, I want B-Man on there, but let me tell you about the old days of when Tekken 8 was coming out, man, and all this shit was happening. Like, that's what I want. I want to help, like, people create memories that they're gonna remember the rest of their lives, like me and Dom.
Yeah, like to this day, I still rep upstate. So
yeah,
even though I'm here in Texas, I still consider myself upstate. So I still keep in my name. You know, it's not gonna go away.
Well, you both have certainly done a lot for the community here, and you guys have shared a lot of great stories here tonight. I certainly appreciate everything you guys have done. And Tony, like I mentioned, you were literally one of the first interactions I had on Shoryuken.com. So I definitely attest to my being a part of the Syracuse FGC, to you responding and following up on Shoryuken.com there. So, Vinny, we've had a lot of great stories tonight. Had a lot to talk about. I think we're at a great spot right now. I'm just trying to beat Dave's ass right now, as you can see.
Is that Swans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, he was so bad at Tekken.
I think who did he play? He played.
We were talking about community and together create memories. Dom's gotta be like, man, that motherfucker's so good Tekken, bro.
Well,
like, you gotta close out like that, my guy.
So, one, everybody who knows me, I am always about the community, but
listen,
that don't mean
Swans, Dave, Sanguine, his new title. He's my boy. All right, we play KI together. It's awesome.
So, I will sit there. I will tell you that you are bad at a game, but I will always cheer your ass on in that same ass game. So, even though I may be like, you know what, yo, you're pretty bad, but if you need me to cheer you on and hype you up in every game, I got you, and I do. So, yes, I'm the guy.
Shout out to D'Angelo.
Yo, like, I will sit there and I will tell D'Angelo that I will always make fun of D'Angelo and tease him constantly.
Yeah.
In any game, but I will sit there and be his and I'm always like his biggest cheerleader. Like, me and Tony are like his biggest cheerleaders, even though we sit there, we talk so much shit to him, especially when Tony gets him advice, and D'Angelo goes, okay, I got you, and does the opposite. What he does.
We can't start. We
Okay.
gotta end this. We love everybody. I love everybody in the community. There's not a single person in this community I hate. Like, I love you all. Like, you all serve a purpose. Like, you guys are all the best. So I'm so happy to have everybody here in the community, except for Twan. She's gone now, so we don't have to worry about that shit. But I love you all. I love you all, and I hope to see you. I'm gonna try to stop by before the tournament, Tekken tournament Sunday at 3 Lives. I gotta work and deliver during it like this, so I won't be able to be in it. But I want to stop by and say what's up to you guys, and just like be there the best I can. Love you all.
So
awesome.
I would actually be in Syracuse in like a week or so.
What?
I'm coming back down to visit for Christmas. We'll be there from the 22nd to the 31st.
Wait, the 22nd of
This month?
Wait. Until the 31st of December, right?
Yes. So we be in town again. But this time we are flying. We're not driving down like we did in September. We are flying this time.
Now we gotta get food again.
Yes, we definitely gonna get food. So I'll be down to hang out with anybody. So me and Tony end up getting food like always.
Awesome.
And I definitely play anybody in Tekken again. Or some Mortal Kombat 11. Either one.
I'm
K11.
K11.
RoboCop. Yeah, I play RoboCop.
You would.
Damn.
Yeah, told you. Like, I play. So the reason why I play the characters that I play, because I got bad execution. So
What the fuck?
So the characters
Listen.
that I play allow me to play the game that I want to play, but allows me to also mask my weaknesses.
Listen,
And the character,
Damas,
like, what's up?
let me sell you on a game you would love. It's
What?
called Killer Instinct. All right, it's on
I play Glacier.
Xbox. It's on Xbox and it's on PC. Okay, there's a character and there's big boys in there, big bodies. You can play General Rom from Gears of War. He's a grappler, fucking nice, great moves, does big fucking dick damage. And then this is the character I think you would be all about. His name's Agnos. All right, he's a big fucking rock Goliath golem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that literally you can just like it's called chunking up. You literally take rocks and you put them into yourself, right? And he gets hits of armor based upon that, and you literally can just blow through the opponent's attacks. And then you can choose to set up walls if you determine you want to make the arena smaller. So you set up these walls behind your opponent, right? Using the chunks you've gained through it. You can do combos. If you do a Superman punch into it while there's like 2 or 3 walls set up behind your opponent, does extra damage. That is a character. I'm telling you, Damas, that's a Damas character right there. You'd be all about it. It's like Hulk on steroids.
So I actually play I play Glacius in that game.
Oh! What?
Yes.
Great character as well.
Yep. That's what I play in that game. I play Glacius, and that's because one, I can do full screen projectiles into a combo.
Yep. I'm telling you,
like,
dude. We got a good little community going on right now. We probably got about 12 players that play almost every night. So if you ever want to get back into it, let me know.
Well, I play on PC Game Pass. How would that work?
Dude, it's crossplay.
Oh, is it okay?
Oh yeah, dude. You just fucking search the lobby or search your name, dude. Yeah,
Okay.
telling you, it's awesome, fun game. Trying to play.
Yeah, I was like, why not?
KI players. Why not?
Yeah, I play that. I actually play a lot of games. I play a lot of fighting games. I'll probably say that's probably one of my biggest strengths is that I can play multiple games at a decent level.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, here's what I'll say. I guess final remarks here. And Vinny, feel free to add whatever you want, guys. This has been excellent. You guys have shared a lot of awesome stories, and I've certainly been entertained for the last 2 hours. It's been awesome, and I can't wait for folks. Hopefully, everybody in chat has been enjoying the time here. But we always like to give the opportunity to our guests here to kind of plug themselves in terms of like where people can find you on your socials and things like that. So, Damas, if you want to start, and then we'll move over to Tony. Where can people find you?
you can find me at UF_Damas on Twitter. Because I'm always in the Upstate Discord. I'm also in Vinny's Discord. Always supporting and watching you guys stream what you guys do. I definitely enjoy it. I have my own Twitch. I really don't stream much, but I'm trying to get back into it. CNY_Damas. As you can tell, I'm always gonna represent Upstate, no matter where I'm at. So you guys can definitely find me there. You guys definitely send me a follow. I'll always follow you guys back. And this weekend, I'm actually going to be streaming some of the beta for Street Fighter 6.
You got into the beta?
Yes, I did.
Excellent.
Yep.
You're a bad guy, Damas. That's because you're
I
a
am.
bad guy. Nice guys don't get the fucking beta codes.
What do you mean? I got the beta code. I've had the beta code since last beta.
You're
Oh,
a
did you?
KI
Nice.
player. It's self-explanatory.
Yeah, we're fucking blessed sometimes, all right? Come on. Oh, man. Awesome.
KI,
Awesome.
that game.
Well, thank you, Damas. Thank you, Damas. Tony, where can people find you?
At Twitter, at @0_the_shadow. Ugh. Like, Elon apparently, I saw some shit that he's going to purge a bunch of accounts that haven't been used. And I
Cool.
think ZTS is one of those. So if I could snag ZTS, I'll snag ZTS if that shit happens. Other than that, I actually do have something to plug. You're not gonna believe this, right? So, I am doing a Tekken 6 retrospective. Tekken 6, not 7, right?
Alright.
Where I am like rewatching all of the old Korean TV show episodes of Tekken Crash for Tekken 6. Just to kind of like go back over the history of like the competitive scene in Korea for that game. I'm actually streaming it on Twitch occasionally. Please follow me. That's at ZTS underscore upstate. I did the first episode of Tekken Crash from season 1. Didn't realize it was Tekken 6.0, not BR. And oh boy, was that something. So I get to go through a whole season of 6.0. Bro, it's insane. Like, look at all the differences between that and what we got in BR. But yeah, I'll probably be doing another one of those too. I'm hoping to go through literally like all the seasons of Tekken Crash and just kind of see the evolution of the competitive game there. Because there's a lot of misconceptions around Tekken 6 and what characters are actually strong and which characters people thought were strong. Because not a lot of people were traveling around the world at that time. So if you look at the Korean play, obviously, for big money on the TV networks, that's where the best play was. And I just want to go back and relive it. Relive all the cool, wacky characters, all the stuff going down, all the old players that are still playing today. So, like, tune into that. Follow me if you want to. If you want to check this out. And sometimes, if I get back into it, sometimes I stream Melty Blood. When I feel like it. But I haven't streamed or played Melty Blood in like 4 months. But if I do, I'll stream it. And whatnot. You can watch me lose to Mordred some more. That's it. That's all I got.
Awesome.
I actually have a question for you guys. So, Rennie, so what do you guys want more? Injustice 3 or new Mortal Kombat?
Ooh,
If you guys had to choose.
great question.
Rick, you can go first.
So I traditionally am another realm player,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat has always been at my core. Like, that was the first fighting game I ever played. Was Mortal Kombat 2. Fucking just, I love the characters, love the lore, everything like that. Mortal Kombat 9 was probably my favorite MK game. But I absolutely loved when we started moving into DC characters, and Injustice definitely holds a special place in my heart. In terms of like what I would love to see next, I know it's probably not going to be Injustice 3. And it's probably more than likely MK12, because I know Ed Boon has hinted at that. But honestly, I would love to see Injustice 3. I thought Injustice 1 was so fun. They improved upon a lot of things in Injustice 2. I love the characters. And I would love to see Injustice 3 if, and I don't know if this ever would happen, but like a Marvel versus DC fighting game made by NetherRealm would be fucking dope. I think that would be so sick. Make it as brutal, as gory as you could of the NetherRealm style, but have the Marvel and DC characters. I think that'd be so fucking sick.
I can't do that only because I hate how they do projectiles. To me, it's the one thing I hate the most is how they use projectiles.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like
I think if they took the arena size of like MK9,
mm-hmm.
right? Remember how big those characters were? Those characters were big in terms of like the arena. I think if they did that and made Injustice like that size, I think it would be great. But I totally agree with you. I think zoning in Injustice games is fucking awful to deal with. And they improved upon it in 2 with the roll and things like that, but still, it was fucking awful. But like I said, I love MK. Had a great time with 9 and X, and even with 11, I had a fun time. But there was just a lot of shit in 11 that just didn't make any sense, like in terms of like hitboxes and things like that. And that led to a lot of my frustrations, which led to me not wanting to play the game and finding other things I found interesting. So, if you had to ask me though, like I said, Injustice 3 would be my let's see it, let's see how it goes. But I would be happy with either one. So, what about you, Vinny?
So, everyone knows I play everything. I just love fighting games in general. If I could have what I'd want, I'd want Injustice 3, but you guys brought up my biggest problem with Injustice 3, and I am a huge abuser of that, the zoning. I played Starfire, and I fucking smoked people. I want Injustice, but I want it to be up close and personal. I don't want every character to have 4 different fireballs and a full screen fucking whatever you want, whatever start coming in like Superman, you know, flying in from the fucking corner. I don't want that. I want a more up close and personal, I guess, just kind of Street Fighter-ish Injustice.
MK9.
But the real answer is just remake MK9 and make everyone fucking happy.
Yeah, let's do it. Give it rollback netcode, remaster it, add 2-3 more characters. Let's do it. Let's party.
I do agree with Rick, though. It's kind of leaning like it probably is MK12, which as long as it's not 11, I'd be happy. I liked 11 for playing it for like 3 weeks, and then everyone noticed I kind of just stopped playing it. Having more fun watching people who could figure the game out and had fun with it.
Yeah.
But do I think 11's like the worst fight? No, it's not a terrible fighting game. It's just like Rick said, a lot of shit just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Shit was hitting, and you're like, huh? What? I ducked that.
I mean, I had a blast with it, and I spent a lot of time with it.
They did put, the visuals were nice, the fatalities were entertaining, but I just think 9 and X were just leagues beyond 11.
Okay.
I'd like to see an MK9 remake that plays like X, I guess. I really
9.5.
I loved MKX's game. It was fast, it was fun, there was so much crazy shit you could do. Not many characters, in my opinion, were bad. The DLC was awesome.
Oh yeah. DLC was sick.
I like I said, I'd like Injustice 3, but more up close, less zoning. But deep down, it's like just remake MK9 and make everybody happy. That's what everybody really wants.
Listen, if folks,
Yanni would flip his fucking desk over, and you'd hear him all the way to Texas.
If folks are looking to play MK11 and Injustice 2, there is currently a sale going on. End of the year sale on PlayStation. You can get MK11 Ultimate and Injustice 2 Legendary Edition for $20. What a fucking that's all the DLC for $20 on both games.
That's nice.
That's a wild fucking deal, and if people are looking to get into it, by all means.
My biggest issue is that I buy too many fighting games, and I buy them multiple. I buy it on PC and I buy them on console. So
Thank you, Damas. Well. I'm that guy.
I got so many fighting games.
3 copies of DNF Duel.
Oh, Damas, you're the reason I got to play Guilty Gear Strive. I just borrowed it from you on Family Share when you didn't play.
Yo,
I said the other day that I don't own Strive, and somebody was like, you definitely own Strive. I'm like, no, I just Family Shared it off Damas. I don't own Strive.
Yeah, at all. I got no problem family sharing it with you either. So let's see, I got Strive, I got
DNF Duel, Melty
Blood. That is one of the things Vinny and I always comment about you. Whether or not you like the game, whether or not you plan on playing it for an extended period of time, you will always support the community and will buy the game to play with people.
Yeah.
Whether or not you think it's going to be big or not, you'll buy the game, you'll play with the folks, and hopefully it takes off. And if not, you're still there to help and play. So
there's one thing about me. I'm always been a product of my environment. So let's say if I'm in an area and the area only plays Smash Brothers, guess what? I'm a Smash Brother now.
Yeah, you're playing Smash Brothers.
I'm playing Smash Brothers. And if I'm in an area that only plays anime, guess what? I play anime now. So I got...
You've been a
What's up?
Smash brother since I met you, man.
Just because I'm smashing does not mean.
That's what I mean, man.
Oh, so one last story. Speaking of smashing, so
Oh God, no! We gotta cut it out, bro. We
So,
can't turn this MC17
Tony-
to the last minute.
this is what me and Tony. So me and Tony,
Oh my
we
God.
like I said, at first we weren't close. The only reason why we really
Oh,
hung
no.
out was because we were friends with Kyle. And now I will tell you some things about me.
Oh no.
I'm very.
Cut the
I'm
stream. Cut the stream.
No, let's let her rip. Let's see how it goes. We've had worse. Let's do it.
I'm
Let's do
rough
it. We're
around the
here.
edges.
We're in the
So-
boat. We're in the boat. Let's do it.
I'm rough around the edges. I'm someone that you can like easily, but you can also fucking despise easily, especially back then. So back then, I wasn't really that reliable, especially if somebody loaned me money. And Tony,
Oh boy.
he loaned me money, and we was at the arcade one day, and I was actually at that time I was dating this girl. And we was about to go out to eat, and Tony, he wanted to stay and play Tekken, and he wanted us to stay and play Tekken, and of course Tony, he broke up the money that I owed him,
Oof.
which makes sense. But back then, I wasn't trying to hear it. I was trying to go get my rocks off, and he goes,
Oh no.
Thomas, girls or Tekken? Girls or Tekken? What you gonna choose? And everybody's like looking at Tony like he lost his mind, because everybody's like, of course we're gonna choose bitches over Tekken.
Always choose bitches over Tekken.
And so, and that has always stuck with me. That Tony looked me with a straight ass face,
Mm.
dead in my eyes, and said, "Girls or Tekken." And I'm
He
like,
literally said bros before hoes. And what did
Yeah.
you choose? What'd you choose, Thomas?
I chose hoes.
Choose the hose. You
Thomas.
choose the hose.
But
And it's also about the quality of pose, Damas.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
That quality
my-
wasn't that high.
My
what
ex-
do you mean?
my
What
ex
do you
wasn't
mean?
my ex wasn't the greatest person in general. She wasn't.
Okay. Okay.
So, but
Good
again,
alert.
this was, and
The
but
less said, the better. Let's just keep it at that. Damas has kept this rather PG-13.
yeah, I did.
He's talking about
Like-
stuff like the bloody summer and shit. Like, we don't want to get him started. So can we just, like... We were at such a good point, guys. We're talking
Oh.
about community and how much we loved everybody, and we wrapped it all up, and now you got Damas talking about, like, old girlfriends. We should have wrapped this shit up 20
Oh, no.
minutes ago, bro.
Bro, I got some stories. There was times when like
Let's save it for... Come on, man.
Tony wanted me to come over and play some games. Tony got to pick me up, and as Tony's on his way to pick me up, I kicked some poor girl out of my house so I can go play Tekken. And like, listen, it was. And she's like, "How am I gonna get home?" I was like, "Oh, the bus stop is up the street." Oh,
Man. Well,
Oh,
listen,
man.
guys.
that was
Another time we can
fun.
hear
Definitely.
the bros before hoes gamer stories. But first of all, let me just give you guys a big shout out, big thank you for coming on the stream tonight. This was a ton of fun. You guys shared a lot. I think this might be one of our longest streams here. You guys had some excellent stories to share.
Always.
We appreciate it as always. Vinny,
Definitely.
I know it's late, but we got a couple things coming up. Let's talk about what we got coming up, and then we'll wrap this up
Alright,
before it gets any more rated R. All right.
so we will have these two back at some point. I will invite you guys back. There are way more of these. But as for here, for now at least, Sunday is the Killer Instinct Online Christmas Tournament. Starts at 8 p.m.
Fuck yeah.
If you are not a KI player, I hope to see your name on the Tekken sign-up list at 3 Lives that starts 2 hours before that. And see you in the chat room.
Yes, let's do it.
But after that, I will be slammed. The store gets busy that week throughout the new year. I am going to be taking a break until January. We'll come back in January. I just won't have time to do it. Starting in January, the first week of January, that first Thursday, we'll be back with the podcast here. I will figure out who will come on first, and we'll talk about some stuff. Maybe we'll Street Fighter 6 betas this weekend. I'll be trying it. I got in. I'm happy.
Awesome.
I got to play it at EVO this year, way before everyone else did, and it was fucking amazing.
Vinny, who you gonna play? Who you gonna play?
Right now,
Who you gonna play, Vinny?
now Chun-Li, but I want to see Lily. I want to see Lily because if she's literally just a miniature T-Hawk, I'm gonna be very pleased.
I don't know if she'll be in it, but come on, let's hop on the jury train. It's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to play Jury because everyone else wants to play Jury, and it turned me away. I'm like, I don't want to play the mirror. I don't want to play the mirror match over and over, and it's boring.
Vinny, that's your girl.
No,
That's your girl.
I'll play Chun-Li.
All right, I'm playing jury.
Do I think Jury's new design is sick? Yeah, it's the coolest she's ever looked. But the fact that everyone I know is like, I'm gonna play Jury, I'm like, I don't want to play mirror matches all day. I'm sorry. I'll play a different character that I like.
Fight my jury. Let's do it this weekend.
Plus, like I said, I really want to. I think Lily will be the one. I think she is just a little T-Hawk. I'm all about it. I'm more afraid of Jeremy. Jeremy's gonna play that crazy fucking hybrid grappler girl.
Manon? Oh yeah, Manon looks like.
Joey's gonna play Marissa.
Yeah, that's definitely a Joey Wolf character.
We'll see. I'm gonna try all the characters like I usually do. You never know, something else might actually stick. I mean, here we are with Guilty Gear Strive, and I never thought I'd play Mei.
And you a Mei player.
That's the character that I play. It's the first charge character that I've enjoyed.
D-Gen. Fucking D-Gen.
And I will say, DJ looks really cool.
Oh yeah, DJ. The glow up on DJ looks awesome.
But that's the plan for the rest of the year. After Sunday, he most likely won't be back until January unless I find time and we can throw something in. Like, if I have time this weekend, like tomorrow, Saturday, or I think the beta runs until Monday, we can do something with that to be fun. I don't know. I didn't get to play the first one, so I don't know if they put lobbies in or not. I don't know how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So if that works, we can do a little open lobby, maybe a little round robin if enough people want to play.
Hell yeah. They do have lobbies.
So I'll keep that in mind, but AI tournament is Sunday at 8. Minimum $50 pot. Match Reno up and everything. It'll be fun.
Yep.
Sadly, Guilty Gear's crossplay came a little too late, so couldn't do that one this year, but maybe in January at some point.
I think it worked pretty well, all things considered.
Tonight was great, other than
I got disconnected from Piffy, but that was about it.
I think I warned everyone, and I'm like, it's day one of crossplay. I expected the game to... It didn't crash, so that's a good...
Is it the beta?
No, it's
finally
put it in.
Okay.
Well, I'm pleased that it's working.
So I might have to re-download Strive.
Opens up a lot of doors.
Yep, absolutely.
They keep telling me I need to play the game again. I'll try to put some time into the game. Menace them. Because the Dolphin is now like Kid Plus again. But again,
good stuff.
Thank you guys for coming on.
Of course.
We will play us off.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out who wants to come on first in January. Whether it's story time or maybe we'll run through the interviews with you guys because we technically didn't get to interview you.
No, not really. It was just a wild story night that went a million different directions.
It was great. It was amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you, Rick.
Vinny.
What?
I got a song. Can we play ourselves off?
It depends. Am I gonna get in trouble?
Listen, I tried this one time.
Yeah.
No. It's a cover. It's a cover. So you won't get the MCA.
So was the Mortal Kombat theme song that we played, and I got fucking nailed for that one.
Listen here, Commander Root, whoever may be listening,
Dude,
this is a cover song.
It was like 2 minutes in, and everything went wrong.
Let's
Oh,
hope
really?
nobody's fucking narking
yeah, it
on
was
us right
just funny.
now.
I'm like, oh, it's like a Mortal Kombat remix.
Listen,
and
it was the first and only
I got
time
a-
you got banned.
I got a
and
DM.
I feel
I got a
terrible for it.
DMCA. I got an email. My stream was turned off.
God damn. They
And I
did you dirty. Just
And
like,
I was like,
Oh, dude.
I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, they fucking hit us hard, man. And it
Oh,
was fucking Commander Root, the fucking narc that he is.
How long is it, Tony?
Well, it's a minute and 30 seconds. It's just a marching band cover of Smile Bomb from Yu Yu Hakusho that I heard earlier today, and it's fire. So I don't even know if you guys know what that is.
Well, I do. Since I have no strikes on my account, I'll let this one go, and if I get a strike, I won't be
He
as
says,
upset.
let her rip. He says, let her rip.
All right, guys.
Play us
Signing
off,
out.
Tony.
As soon as the song's
Sweet.
over, we're out of here. So you all have a good night.
Play us off, Tony. The anticipation is killing me. I can't hear shit.
Can't either.
Shit.
Must be the rental car.
It must be the rental car.
Oh, you guys can't hear anything?
No.
Damn.
Nope.
Hold on. I'm going to try it like this. Hold on.
Fucking Twitch knows. They're like, don't you fucking do it.
Can you hear Domino's commercial?
No.
Nope.
nope, I can't hear
You guys
anything,
can't
bud.
hear anything?
No.
Wow. Damn,
The-
that sucks.
the-
Here, Vinny. Can I put it in the chat? Nah, fuck it. We'll do it another time.
All right.
Sorry. That just didn't work for some reason.
So when we
Well-
come back in January, we'll play the song.
It's
The
all right.
anticipation was killing us, but Vinny, let's
All right,
do
guys.
it the old school
Like I
way.
said,
Take us home,
If I
Vinny.
have time, we'll do a Street Fighter 6. If not, we'll see you Sunday for Killer Instinct.
Awesome.
That note, night,
Mm-hmm.
and good luck.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see ya.
Have a good night.